Hey guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about social media and encouraging you to keep up and post on your page, whether it be your personal page or your fitness fan page. It doesn't matter where your platform is. If you're an Instagram person or whatever you choose to use is okay, but I do recommend that you try to focus on one platform instead of going all the way through multiple areas, just because it can kind of be overwhelming for new coaches if you're a new coach. But if you're able to kind of cross over to multiple platforms because you're already doing that, then keep doing it. Just do what works for you. One of the areas that I kind of really stay focused on is my Facebook fan page. I know there's mixed feelings on whether you move over to your personal page or if you go onto your fan page. And the answer is you're right. It doesn't matter really which area you decide to put your focus on because both areas are okay. You just have to find your niche. You have to find your target audience, and you have to find what works for you. One of the things that I've struggled with a little bit this past year, I've kind of fallen off, and so I'm rebuilding trust in my followers, my friends, my family, new friends. And so it's taken a little bit to rebuild it, and it's okay. I noticed that I've kind of posted some things recently and I've lost a few likes here and there, and that's okay because the way that I've learned is I'm weeding out and focusing really on only those people that are interested and can relate to me. So don't take it personally if people decide to unfriend you. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're not a right fit, and they will find somebody that's a right fit for them. So you want to find and be able to relate to your audience, and you want them to be able to relate to you as well. So I wanted to kind of touch base a little bit on the levels and areas that I target on, and really each of us should be really focusing on in our business. And one of the areas I will admit that I really struggle with, and it's really posting more about the business. And so that's something I'm going to work on in the upcoming months. And that's sharing your business if you're a stay-at-home mom and you get to work from home and you have flexibility and you love it. Blast it on your page. Don't post it every day, but that's one area you should focus on. If you are focusing on coaching and you want to start recruiting people, we all should really be targeting and posting that on our page. And again, that's an area that I need to work on as well. But another area, I have 2 boys, and so anytime I've ran ads or anything like that, I've targeted moms of boys. And so I have a lot of followers that also have boys or have multiple children that are my kids' age. So, I share my kids' struggles, I share happy posts, and we have a Boston Terrier, we talk about her. We've talked about another area number 2 is our moving around as a military family and our struggles and our recent transition out of the military. And I've also talked about my sister's loss. And as hard as it is sometimes to include those struggles and those personal feelings, I think people can relate to that. People are going to find an area in your life and they're going to be able to relate to you and feel like they have someone to lean on. So I know it's hard sometimes to share those struggles, but when you find a comfortable point to be able to do so, it's truly amazing the people that you can touch in their lives and to be able to help them. I've had quite a few people reach out to me since my sister's passing, and I'm kind of helping them through a loss, or maybe it's a loss of a boyfriend or a loss of a dog, or everybody has a low in their life, and so that's something that I try to focus on. And another area is Chevron is kind of my thing, and so I try to include that in post. And sometimes when I can't come up with something, I will come up I'll just surf through Pinterest and find a really cute outfit or some shoes and kind of put a little post and include it on there and kind of tie that into me and get some interest on that, because that's just something that I'm into. So find something that you're into and share it. So whether it be running shoes, or if you're into water bottles or whatever it is that you're into, just be sure that you kind of incorporate that into your brand, because you're branding yourself on your page. And another area is just family, having family close by. We try to include family pictures. When I kind of try to keep it to 5 different areas or 5 pillars, so that, I can just kind of filter through those same things, and people will kind of get to know different things about me through those various posts. But right now, in addition, since we've moved, I've kind of replaced our basement renovation. So I've included a little bit of that under our page, so people can kind of watch our house change and our family grow into this new space. And I also include recipes, and meal planning is another thing that I try to include, and workouts and motivational type stuff, because that's an area I struggle in a lot and have fallen off in the past year or so. But I wanted to turn my screen around and kind of show you some of the posts that I have done on my page. Just a few examples. You don't have to do your page like this. This is just what I've chosen to do mine. And I also try to stick with consistent colors. My colors are I'm a big black and white girl, but I do a lot of purples and teals and that kind of thing, maybe some lime green sometimes, but just try to kind of pick colors that are areas that just work for you, and stick with it, because people will identify your brand by those colors. Another thing too is the lighting. Pay attention to your lighting, pay attention to what's in the background when you're taking pictures. And sometimes when you take pictures from an angle, if you're kind of coming in from looking down, sometimes it just gives you a better view rather than straight forward or straight on. Try to get creative with your photography and your videos and things like that. But here's just a simple post that I posted about the boys. And we were actually just snuggling on the couch, and I just threw this text together. And here's a tip that I use too. I use the notes on my iPhone. And that is critical, you guys. That is an area that I use every single day. I started journaling a lot in this past year, and I've never journaled before. But I just kind of started going through the motions and just cycling through and going through all those struggles with my sister. And I started writing out my feelings, and, I kind of went through the anger stages and confusion and different stages. And so I started keeping track of those feelings, and it kind of really helped me get through that process. And I also can take captions of some of those things that I've been journaling, and I can attach it to a photo. So if you use your notes on your phone or whatever app or whatever you want to use to journal, you can caption it and you can come back to it. You don't even have to finish it. Sometimes I'll write something and I'll title it, and then I may already have a picture in mind that I want to use. And so I'll maybe put a description underneath that caption or paragraph and describe what the picture is that I want to attach with that. And that way I already have an already made post. So if you're out and about and you're at a sporting event and you need to post on your page because you have it for the day, and you can just grab it, you can copy, and you can paste it. So when you're ready, just make changes to that, and you'll have that post and it will be ready to go. But this is just, the lighting. I've put filters on my pictures. I use quite a few different photo apps, and I'll share those with you guys. One of the ones I really like to use is WordPress. I use a beautiful mess. And I also use Rhonna. I use Studio. And some of these apps will, when you create something, it will store it under your profiles, like Studio. And then you can bring your image you can open up that app and then reuse that same art, but just bring a new image through, and then you can retype the message. So if you want to keep things branded on your page, you can use the same types of art and same coloring, and that way you don't have to constantly keep recreating the wheel. And honestly, I have a little bit of an advantage, and I know that as a graphic designer, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of times I don't have time to sit down and design something, and I don't spend a lot of time doing that anymore. So these apps have been lifesavers because anybody can do it. You don't have to have a full creative background to be able to use those apps. But here's another post. Every once in a while on my page, I like to be able to announce and kind of welcome new people to my page. And so I created a video, kind of introduced myself and welcomed those new folks to my page. Here's something I was really just trying to post something really quick. Chevron, this little chevron overcoat that is just adorable. And again, just try to incorporate that chevron on my page because it's my thing. Here's just a little picture that I took when the family, we were taking a walk, and it kind of goes back to prior to us moving and my husband getting out of the military. And so I promised that people would start seeing more of my husband in pictures. And so this captures that. And, I just converted that picture to black and white right in my photo app on my phone. And then I brought that right through Studio and just put a filter or some artwork on it. And that's it. And here is just a simple French toast meal we made on a Friday morning, and I shared it and posted it. And sometimes people ask for recipes, and I'll include those in my notes on my like page, or I'll message them to them individually too, or sometimes I'll share those on my page. Here's, I talked about our basement reconstruction, and I just included a little bit about that. Add some funnies, my folks like humor, so find what your people like. That's really important. This is just a little caption that I had from my sisters, a little bit that I talked about during the process of healing and going through that with my sister. And I just included a little bit, a sneak peek piece or a little nugget from the journaling. I promised that I would share that when the time was right. And some things will remain personal, so I'm only sharing what I feel I'm comfortable in sharing. So, but sometimes you have to be raw and you have to be real. People want to get to know you, and they want to see how they can relate to you. And if you're always posting about being perfect on your page, most people aren't going to be able to relate to that because they want to be able to relate to your struggles, whether it be your fitness, loss, moving. You might have kids that are just horrible behavior, whatever it is. We're all human and we all have problems. And so if you find a way to share that on your page, and that way people can relate to you. Here's just a meal planning thing, a meal prepping that I had included. Now this, I actually brought this through, I think I brought this through WordPress, and I brought it through multiple times so I could add text to it. So don't be afraid to bring your images through apps more than once. And this app, you can actually do a watermark at the end. So you can include your logo, or you can include your text if you want to include your fan page or your team name and so forth. And here's just a workout motivation. I included my Shakeology after having drank all night. So just sharing a struggle on how I'm human, and sometimes we go out and drink and do those kind of things. But here's an example of me. I put a filter on this. I put some text on here, and I just included a workout. And people like to see you working out. They want to be able to relate to that. And they want to also see when you struggle, when you don't work out. And so those are just a few things that I wanted to share. I've had some pretty good success on my page, and I'm excited to watch it grow throughout the months as I continue to post consistently. One of the things that I was taught was to post on my page 2 to 3 times a day. And honestly, I feel like if you post and the information is really well written, you don't have to be a writer, but if you're vulnerable and you've actually put some time into your post, you're going to get more feedback than you would if you just threw up a motivational poster or you threw up somebody else's recipe. Throw your own recipes up there and just be yourself. Okay, you guys, I hope those tips help. And if you have any questions, just leave those comments below, or feel free to message me or message any of the other coaches in the group if you have questions. But thank you so much for watching. Okay, talk to you guys soon.